All right, today we're stepping inside what looks like a quiet little English cottage. But oh, it's got a story to tell. One about inheritance, big ambitions, and a mystery that's been buried for almost 200 years.
So, how does a house tell a family's story? It's a fascinating thing to think about, right? We're used to history being about people, dates, big events, but what if the building itself could talk? Imagine the stories it would tell. The walls of this house, well, they hold clues to a family's legacy, their travels all over the world, and yeah, even their secrets. So come on, let's see what we can dig up. Okay, so our story kicks off right here in 1830 with a place called Powys Cottage in Sidmouth. As you can see, it's a pretty modest, single-story building, but its owner, Elizabeth Powyd Flord, has just passed away, and this little cottage is about to enter a whole new era. Everything's about to change. So the property passes to her nephew, and this guy has a pretty impressive title. Get this, Major General Sir Henry Floyd II, Baronet of Olantai. And you know what? That title, Baronet, that's the key. It's the key to understanding everything that's about to happen. So, what is a baronet exactly? Let's break it down real quick. Okay, so basically, a baronet holds a hereditary title. That means it gets passed down, usually to the eldest son. Now here's the crucial part. It ranks above a knight, but below a baron. So yeah, you'd call him Sir Henry, but he wasn't a peer, which means he couldn't sit in the House of Lords. Kind of in a class of its own. And here's a little chart to make it super clear. See, a baronetcy is hereditary, which a knighthood isn't, but unlike a barony, it doesn't get you a seat in the peerage. It's this really unique spot in the social hierarchy, and you'll often see it marked with that little BT right after the name. And the Floyd family, wow, they had a seriously distinguished military history. We're talking generation after generation. The first baronet was a general in the Anglo-Mysore Wars, and the line goes all the way to the fifth, a brigadier in World War II. This was a family forged in battle, for sure. And our guy Henry? No exception, he served at Waterloo. So here's why this all matters. The baronet wasn't just some guy with a fancy title. He was the patriarch, the head of the whole clan. He was the one who controlled the family's key assets, like Powys Cottage. That house served as the social and financial anchor for everyone. It wasn't just a home, it was a symbol of their standing, and it was all tied up in that title. Okay, so let's get back to the Floyds themselves. Before they ever settled down at Powys, Sir Henry's military career had his family on like a whirlwind tour of Europe. And you can see it right here. Their children's birthplaces really tell the story. This was a life on the move. I mean, from London to Florence, then Munich, then Brussels. Can you imagine? Lady Mary was raising this huge family while following her husband's career all over the continent. It must have been an absolutely remarkable life, but I bet it was challenging too. Okay, and here's a little detail. It seems small, but trust me, it becomes super important. You see that middle name, Ridout? It was given to two of the kids born in Italy. Now that was a nod to their cousin Caroline Mary Ridout. Tuck that name away in your memory, because it's the first clue that's going to lead us straight into a historical puzzle.
Right, so why is that name so important? Well, because when we start digging into the official records for Powys Cottage, we find something strange, a real ghost in the machine, or in this case, a ghost in the census.
Okay, check this out. In 1841, Britain has its first proper census, and at Powys, the head of the household is listed as Charlotte Ridout, age 45, a woman of independent means. The record says she's a niece of the previous owner. Seems pretty straightforward, right? Case closed. Well, not so fast. There's a massive problem. Legal documents, we're talking her own will, confirm that Charlotte Ridout died a full decade earlier, back in 1831. So, who on earth was this person living in Powys Cottage and using her name 10 years after she was dead? I mean, look at this. Here's the whole mystery laid out in black and white. On the left, you've got the known Charlotte Ridout. On the right, the woman from the census. The birth years are way off. The death dates, well, they just don't match up. There's no way they're the same person. It's impossible. So while that mystery is just hanging there, the story of the house itself keeps moving. Around 1851, Sir Henry finally retires from the army for good. He decides, okay, Powys Cottage is going to be our permanent home. But there was a problem. It wasn't nearly big enough for his massive family. So what does he do? He goes all in. He starts this massive renovation, completely transforming that humble little cottage into the grand Powys house you see on the right. This was his big retirement project. It was a statement, really, a testament to his ambition and his family status. And the price tag for this little project?
A staggering 21,000 pounds. In the 1850s, that was an absolute fortune. Which brings up a pretty big question. Where did a career military man get that kind of cash?
Well, the answer lies in his wife's dowry. And the source material is very clear about this. That money came from slave plantations in Jamaica that were owned by Lady Mary Floyd's father. It's a dark, uncomfortable truth for sure, but it is an absolutely crucial part of this house's story and how it came to be. And life at the new grand Powys house, it was a total whirlwind of social events and local drama. You can just picture it from old diaries, lavish dinners, big garden parties for the local kids on the lawn. But then you also have the newspapers telling these crazy stories, like 2 maids narrowly escaping being buried alive in a cliff fall. It was a bustling, eventful place.
But Sir Henry's time in his grand new home was actually pretty short. After only about 8 years, he and the family packed up, left Sidmouth, and moved back to London. And just like that, his chapter at Powys House came to a close.
Sir Henry Floyd himself passed away in 1868. He left behind a huge family and a really distinguished military career. But he also left behind that house in Sidmouth, a house with one heck of a story, and, as we know, a secret it's still keeping.
And that brings us right back to where we started. Can a house tell a family's story? Absolutely. It can tell us about their service, their travels, their social ambitions. But what about its secrets? Because for all we've uncovered about the Floyd family, the true identity of the woman living at Powys House in 1841, that second Charlotte Ridout, remains to this day a complete mystery.